Gold doesn't apologize. What fires and floods taught me about Black women and resilience. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we create sacred space for high achieving Black women to exhale, heal, and reclaim the softness they deserve. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And today I'm bringing you insights from a conversation that fundamentally altered the way I understand resilience, survival, and what it means to emerge from trials not just intact, but transformed. I recently had the profound honor of interviewing WRYSHONA ISAAC, a voice of resilience whose work is making the world better, by reminding us that everything we've been sent through was designed to build our character. WRYSHONA ISAAC shared a truth so powerful it deserves to echo across every boardroom, every kitchen table, every quiet moment of doubt. Tried in the fires, you come out gold, pass through the waters. They won't drown you. This isn't motivational fluff. This is survival wisdom forged in real violence, real discord, real pain. And it speaks directly to those of us who've been through too much, forcefully, and are still standing. Let me be honest with you. I didn't always believe that trials could be anything other than cruel. For years, I watched women around me, including myself, carry trauma like a second skin, wondering when the breaking point would come. We've been taught to be strong, to hold it together, to never let them see us sweat. But WRYSHONA ISAAC flipped that script entirely. They reminded me that the fire isn't there to destroy us, it's there to refine us. And that changes everything. Here's what I need you to hear today, because WRYSHONA ISAAC made it crystal clear in our interview. There are three non negotiables for Black women navigating trials, especially those of us between 38 and 55 who've spent decades in survival mode. First, trials are character builders. Every fire you've walked through, every flood that tried to drown you, from violence to discord to betrayal, refines you like gold. It's preparing you for a greater purpose. You didn't go through that for nothing. You went through it so you could lead, so you could inspire, so you could show someone else the way out. The heat wasn't random, the pressure wasn't accidental, it was intentional refinement. Second, resilience is non negotiable. The waters won't drown you if you trust the process. You have to emerge unbreakable, ready to lead, ready to rest, ready to be soft without apology. Resilience doesn't mean you never break, it means you know how to put yourself back together. And you do it with grace, with intention, with the quiet confidence of someone who's survived worse. Third, victory follows the forge. What tests you equips you. The very thing that tried to kill you is now your greatest testimony, your sharpest tool, your most powerful story. And that story is going to elevate your community. It's going to be the lifeline someone else grabs onto when they're drowning. Your pain has purpose. Your survival has meaning. Your gold is not just for you. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, LeAnne, that sounds beautiful, but I'm tired. I've been through too much. I don't know if I have any gold left in me. I get it. I really do. But let me show you something that WRYSHONA ISAAC helped me see more clearly. Let me show you three women who walked through fire so hot, so violent, so unrelenting that they should have been destroyed. But they weren't. They became gold. Let's start with a woman born Sarah Breedlove in 1867, orphaned by age 7, widowed by 20, raising a daughter alone in the Jim Crow South where lynchings weren't rumors, they were Tuesday. She faced racial terror so visceral it caused her hair to fall out from stress and malnutrition. And she could have given up. She could have said, "This world is too cruel for a Black woman to thrive." But she didn't. She innovated. She created scalp treatments in her kitchen. She went door to door selling them despite threats, despite danger, despite a world that told her she had no right to dream that big. She trained other Black women to do the same, building an army of entrepreneurs when the word entrepreneur wasn't even in most people's vocabulary. By the time Madam C.J. Walker died in 1919, she had 40,000 sales agents and was America's first self made female millionaire. But here's what gets me: it's not just the money, it's what she did with it. She shattered glass ceilings with unyielding grit, funded scholarships, supported the NAACP, and empowered Black women economically at a time when the world was actively trying to erase them. The fire didn't consume her, it forged her into gold. And that gold, it lit the way for generations. Then there's a woman born to an unwed teenage mother in rural Mississippi in 1954. She survived childhood sexual abuse, beatings, poverty so deep it felt like drowning. She fled an abusive home during the height of civil rights violence when the waters were rising fast and furious around Black bodies in the South. She could have let these waters drown her. She could have believed the lie that she was worthless, that her pain defined her, that survival was the best she could hope for. But Oprah Winfrey didn't just survive. She leveraged her talent in radio and television. She told authentic stories that made people feel seen. She built an empire even after failures that would have crushed most people. She became a billionaire philanthropist, hosted the top rated talk show for 25 years, launched OWN, and donated over $400 million to education. She advanced Black narratives globally, giving voice to the voiceless and power to the powerless. The waters didn't drown her, they taught her how to swim. And then she built a boat for the rest of us. That's what gold does. It doesn't just survive, it creates pathways. And let's talk about a woman born in 1958, raised by a single mother in New York City housing projects surrounded by crime and violence. She faced race and gender bias in engineering, a field that didn't want her, didn't expect her, and certainly didn't make space for her. She could have walked away. She could have said, "This isn't for me. This fire is too hot." But Ursula Burns didn't walk away. She found mentors, she innovated relentlessly, she led strategic restructurings during Xerox's crises, and became the first Black woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She turned that company around, doubled revenue, retired as chair, and paved the way for Black women in C suites. She advised presidents on STEM diversity, ensuring that the door she kicked open stayed open for others. The fires of urban violence and poverty didn't break her. They built her into authoritative leadership gold. And here's the thing: she didn't do it quietly. She did it loudly, unapologetically, with the kind of presence that says, "I belong here, and so do the women coming after me." Do you see the pattern? These women didn't avoid the fire, they walked straight through it. They didn't pretend the waters weren't rising, they learned to breathe underwater. And that's what Rishona Isaac is calling us to do: not to avoid trials, but to trust that they're building something in us that the world desperately needs. But here's where it gets personal. Here's where I need you to stop multitasking and really listen. Because Rashona Isaac didn't just give me theory, they gave me a challenge. And now I'm passing it to you. This week, I want you to audit your trials, pull out a journal, your notes app, whatever works. Write down one fire you've walked through, one water that tried to drown you. Maybe it was abuse, maybe it was betrayal, maybe it was violence, discord, a loss so deep you didn't think you survived. Write it down. And then here's the hard part: affirm how it's building your goal. What did that trial teach you? What strength did it forge? What wisdom did it leave behind? Because I promise you, there's gold in there. It might be buried under grief, under anger, under exhaustion, but it's there and it's yours. And then act on it. Mentor one rising Black professional. Share your story with someone who needs to hear it because your testimony isn't just for you, it's for the woman behind you who's wondering if she'll make it. You're the proof that she will. You're the evidence that the fire refines, that the waters don't drown, that gold is real and it's worth the heat. Now, I know some of you are thinking, LeAnne, I don't feel like gold. I feel like I'm still in the fire. And that's okay. That's real. WRYSHONA Isaac reminded me that the refining process isn't quick. Gold doesn't come out of the fire overnight. It takes heat, pressure, time. But it does come out, and when it does, it's unbreakable. It's valuable. It's irreplaceable. This is where the soft girl era comes in because here's the truth nobody tells you. You can be gold and still be soft. You can be refined and still rest. You can be strong and still say no without guilt. You can set boundaries without apology. You can heal in real time without explanation. Softness is not weakness, it's a radical act of self love. It's the deep exhale from the Superwoman script. It's the quiet but powerful return to rest, self trust, and joy. Rashona Isaac embodies this. They've been through forceful violence, discord, and more, and yet they stand in their softness, their strength, their truth. They're not performing resilience, they're living it. And they're making the world better by showing us that we can too. That's the power of walking through fire and coming out whole. That's the power of gold. So let me ask you the question that anchors every episode of this podcast. How are you learning to be soft in a world that taught you survival? Because that's the real work, isn't it? Letting go of hustle as identity, learning to say no without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, resting without explanation, embracing healing, wholeness, softness, and emotional honesty. This is your soft girl era. This is your sacred pause. This is your permission slip to choose yourself, not out of burnout, but out of reverence. And here's what I want you to feel during and after this conversation. I want you to feel empowered and unshakable. I want you fired up to embrace trials as your forge, stepping into authority like the gold you are. I want you to know deep in your bones that the fire didn't destroy you. It refined you. The waters didn't drown you. They taught you to float, to swim, to build boats. And now you are ready to lead, to rest, to be soft, to be whole. Rashona Isaac reminded me that victory follows the forge. What tests you equips you to inspire and elevate your community. So take that trial, the fire, that water, and turn it into something sacred. Turn it into your testimony. Turn it into your ministry. Turn it into the very thing that sets someone else free. Here's my challenge to you, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. Stop waiting for permission to be gold. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop shrinking because someone else is uncomfortable with your shine. You were refined in fire. You survived waters that should have drowned you. You are not lucky. You are not an accident. You are gold, and gold doesn't apologize. So this week, I want you to do three things. First, write down one trial that tried to break you and name the strength it gave you instead. Second, reach out to one woman, one rising professional, one person who needs to hear that they're going to make it, and tell them your story. Be the proof, be the lighthouse, be the gold. Third, rest, not because you've earned it, but because you're worthy of it. Rest without guilt, rest without explanation, rest like the gold you are, because you, sis, are gold, tried, tested, refined, and unbreakable. The world doesn't need you to keep surviving. The world needs you to thrive. The world needs you to lead. The world needs you to rest. The world needs you to be soft, to be whole, to be free. So go audit those trials. Go mentor that rising professional. Go step into your gold. And remember, you are not what happened to you. You are what you chose to become because of it. You are gold. And gold doesn't apologize.